What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and in this video I will be taking a look at the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution X Black Knight Edition. These cars definitely have a pretty long name, but overall, guys, I feel like this is going to be one of those pretty popular Summit vehicles, and I'm pretty happy to see this thing actually make a return. Now, I'm sure some people might be wondering, how does this thing actually look compared to the Red Fury? Now, to be honest, you can probably see some actual differences like the rims, the rear spoiler, and or the filter coming out of the front hood there, but for the most part I would say the cars are going to be kind of similar. Now, in ways, if I actually had to pick one, I would say I don't really know which one I would actually pick if I had one choice. I really do like the way both of these cars actually look, so doing a spin around of this vehicle, I really do think the blue going around this thing with that matte black finish looks so dang good on this vehicle as well. Plus we have these really nice blue rims, which I really wish we can actually change the color of the rims, which hopefully in Motorfest we will be able to do that. But overall, guys, I would say a lot of people are definitely going to want this vehicle. Now, I wouldn't say this is going to be like the fastest car or anything, which I will get into more of that here in a second. But I really do think for like cruising around or farming races, I really do think this car is going to be an absolute blast. But nonetheless, though, let's go do an outside look of this vehicle right now and do a quick top speed test. So now, taking an outside look of the Black Knight Edition here, I think the first thing I actually notice is how good this car is going to look in the sunlight. My goodness, guys, I really do love the rims on this vehicle. Plus that nice like bright blue finish really dresses up this vehicle so much. And not only that though, this thing also sounds insane. And then moving over to the interior in the Black Knight Edition, I also did notice that the car is going to have some nice detail to it for it being a special edition. That's obviously going to be seen in the seats as well. That's also why I didn't want to tint the windows. You can also see the detail of the back seats as well with the nice blue stitching and or the blue seat belts. So I really do think this car actually looks pretty awesome inside. Plus the screen is going to say Mitsubishi Motors, unlike some of the other vehicles that don't actually say anything. So I do think a lot of people are going to like the interior of this vehicle. It also has some nice carbon fiber. But now, besides all that, let's see what the top speed of the Black Knight Edition is actually going to be. So do keep in mind, by the way, guys, at nighttime you're only going to have one headlight on this thing, which I would say the lighting on the Crew 2 is kind of going to be kind of questionable, which is I'm sure a big discussion with many people. But overall, I would say it's not going to be insanely bad with this car. Let's hope so anyway. But overall, guys, I would say this is going to be one of the faster street cars, and now it is going to be a 5-speed, but I actually really like the way this thing does drive as well, so I wouldn't say it's going to be bad in any way. It's also going to be one of the faster street cars I have driven recently, because let's face it, a lot of them tend to do like 240 miles an hour or so, and it seems like the Mitsubishi here is definitely going to be a bit quicker. So once I get over this last hill, I will see what this car is going to get to, and I am running a Nitro Chemist set if you guys are wondering. So let's see what the car can actually hit right now. So it looks like 255 miles an hour is going to be the top speed on the Black Knight Edition, putting it around 5 to 6 miles an hour slower than some of the best street cars in the game. So this car is definitely going to be on the faster side of things, at least compared to many of the other street cars. I really do feel like this thing's actually going to be a great competitor. And not only does this thing have a great top speed, it also seems to handle pretty dang well. From the testing I have done, the Black Knight Edition is definitely going to be a pretty decent car overall. I would say that top speed's definitely going to be worth a look if you guys do want to try out something different in these summits, and or maybe you want something different to race as well, just in general, like going after parts and or followers and money and stuff. And of course, if you guys were testing out this vehicle in the recent summit as well, you most likely noticed the car was obviously not that great, because for one, it was pretty slow. It's also going to have base settings on it as well, so the car wasn't going to be the greatest. Funnily enough, I didn't really seem to notice the bad handling with the vehicle, even with base settings, which is normally pretty dang shocking with many of the vehicles on the Crew 2. You do normally have to adjust them in some type of way to actually make them better, so I was pretty surprised seeing the Black Knight Edition actually handle that good for being a stock vehicle. Obviously, being a regular level as well, the car wasn't going to be all that fast, and if you guys are running manual, I was noticing getting used to this vehicle might take a bit of time, but honestly, it wasn't as bad as some of the other 5 and or 4 speeds I've driven on the Crew 2. I do feel like if you guys are driving manual, this car might have a bit of a learning curve, but I really don't think it's going to be all that bad. So overall, I would say the Black Knight Edition is definitely going to be a pretty decent vehicle, and for some odd reason, I'm kind of digging the look of this one over the Red Fury. I really do like those rims so much more on this vehicle compared to that one. I also really like the way this thing is set up with the blue going around it, even though red does look pretty cool. But one of my biggest things as well is I also really like the wing on this car compared to that one, so I'm sure many people might be doing comparisons with both of these vehicles as well. So let me know in the comments below if you guys would like to see like a comparison video with the Red Fury versus the Black Knight Edition in the future. I would definitely be happy to do that as well, because you can definitely see the differences with these vehicles. I'm sure people might be wondering as well, how does the handling on the Black Knight Edition compare to the Red Fury? So I may definitely have to take a look at both of these cars compared to each other, but overall, guys, I really would say the Black Knight Edition is probably going to be worth a look if you guys did get this vehicle. I really do think this is going to be one of the better street cars in the game, at least when it comes to the performance and or top speed. I have noticed some street cars on the Crew 2 seem to be pretty dang good at handling, but I did notice in some ways they might be kind of nerfed with how their top speed is, so this could also be another way to actually balance out the vehicles on the Crew 2, but then again, we also have some cars that are going to be insanely fast, and they also handle really well, so I guess it kind of depends. But I would say the Black Knight Edition is definitely going to be towards the top of the list with the better street cars. I really do feel like this car actually has a lot going for it. Not only does it handle really nice, but also has a great overall top speed. Plus, I would say it's going to be pretty decent when it comes to acceleration. Now, the main reason why I say that is sometimes the 5 speeds might be kind of wonky. I did notice when first starting to use a 5 speed once again, like on the Black Knight Edition, I was noticing trying to find the right gear coming out of a corner and or being in a corner can be a bit of a challenge. For example, guys, with the Lancer here, I was noticing in second to third gear is going to be your best bet. Unfortunately, being in second gear, sometimes I was noticing the car was obviously redlining, so you would then have to shift this thing into third, and I noticed you would probably lose some power afterwards. But at the same time, though, I would also say Nitro Chemist can probably intervene when you guys might lose some of the power on some of the corners. I was noticing having that extra nitrous is going to be insanely helpful, especially with some of these 5-speed transmissions. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on the Black Knight Edition in the comments below, and here are the settings I'm currently running on this vehicle.